All right. No, thanks for taking my call. I've been watching you guys for a few months now, and I really love the content. So I'll just tell you a little bit about myself really quick. My name is James, 29. I live out in Oregon right now, and I'm what you called a relationship virgin. So not like just a regular virgin, just with relationships.
So you've had sex,
I've been able to sleep with tons of women, albeit, mostly on the bigger side. But I mean, I slept with a few like 8s and 9s here and there. But sometimes I'll get slack from some people when I tell them I've never been in a relationship before. But, and growing up, that kind of like bothered me because I was like, well, maybe I should be in a relationship. But like just over the past few years, and just especially over the past like 9 years, so pretty much my whole 20s,
how old are you?
I've just been more confident.
How old are you?
And I'm 29.
Yeah.
I'm 29.
Yeah, right.
Oh, dude, here. I had not had a girl in my life longer than 30 days until I hit 30.
There you go. Yeah,
don't even worry about it. It's anybody poking fun. I know it bugs you. That's why you mention it. Just say you haven't met the right girl yet. People love that kind of lame excuse. Because then it makes you sound like, oh, that poor little guy. Then go hoe it up at the club.
And it's like, yeah. And it's like, nowadays I look at it as, you know what? Who really gives a fuck? I'm not even at my like peak market value or marketplace yet, and just watching those videos, it's really watching your guys' videos and just videos online. It's made me think more about like, well, is it really that bad? I don't really see it that bad. And I've never been that type of person who's like, well, I'm just going to be with this person just to say, oh, I'm in a relationship. It's like, well, if I either like you or I don't. And
big question is, though, why are they getting you riled up? Like if it doesn't bother you, it clearly bothers you, and you're saying it shouldn't, but it is. Do you know why?
I don't know. Like sometimes I kind of think about, I kind of go back and forth with it. So
you want to get an attaboy? They're like, oh, good for you, slaying it. Good job, man.
Yeah. Like I go back and forth with it, but like, which is why I called, because I really like you guys' content, and I wanted your advice. Like, does it really matter? And you said it doesn't, and I'll roll with that.
Yeah, but the fact that I had to say it shouldn't matter, or Donovan had to say it, or Rolo had to say it, just like you're doing your thing. I guess I know it's really easy just to say don't let it bother you, and there's really no other way to explain it but that. And I don't know how to get from here where it kind of does to where it really doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't need my permission. You don't need permission. Yeah, I mean the other thing is that you're 29 years old, man. You haven't even hit your stride yet as far as sexual market value. You're gonna be Oregon. Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna be in such a position here, and I would say between 4 or 5 years, that your sexual selectivity, it's like, don't worry about it. You think that's I hate
down this with that granola from Oregon,
because what he's talking about is really kind of residue of the blue pill. Okay, it's like, oh, I should be in a relationship right now, or it's like you always get these guys who are who feel guilty about not following the life plan that women would have for them. And I kind of lock horns with tradcons about this, because there's a lot, especially if you watch like PragerU videos or some shit like that, where it's like, they're like, well, men need to man up, and they need to be ready for a wife and to be a husband and a wife and follow this life plan. And for women who follow their careers and want to be these careerist women, and they happen to be like 30 years old and they haven't done anything to really establish themselves as, being a mother or whatever. And we don't give them shit, but we give that guy, we say he's extending his adolescence. We say that guy is juvenile for not following the life plan. Syndrome. Yeah, and when that shit gets into your head, that's when you start self-policing. You start doubting yourself, because
it's been. They call me Peter Pan. I think it's great.
Yeah. The thing is, like, when you
I fight Captain Hook. I'm with the Lost Boys.
God, I hate to. My cousin, he's got, and I think he might have started things a little bit later, but my cousin is an architect, and he is like almost a celebrity architect. The guy's got money coming out of his ass. He didn't start his personal life until he got to be about 36 years old, 37 years old. And if I say somebody did it right, this is the guy that did it right, because he didn't really start looking for a wife until he would, because being an architect and doing what he's done, he wanted to establish himself in his career. He wanted to focus on himself. He wanted to work on his own, you know, he was just very industrious. Let's just say that. I'm not going to call him an entrepreneur because he wasn't really an entrepreneur, but kind of became one by default. And then decided that right around 36, he's going to say, okay, you know what? I want to have kids. This is what I want next for my life. And he was in a position already, of course, because, you know, guy wasn't, you know, not too bad looking guy. And also, you know, had his shit together, and he knew he could be selective, and he was selective. And now, you know, I think maybe he had his kids a little bit too late, because, you know, here I am at 50 and my daughter's 20, and he's got kids that are 6 and 7 right now. So to me, that seems kind of weird, but maybe it's not weird for you. But when you get to be 36 years old and you're hitting your sexual market value stride, that's when I think that's when you should probably start thinking about, well, what do I want to do? You know, how do I want to, how do I want to leave my legacy? How do I want to build myself up? And don't feel guilty about it. Don't feel bad about being selective. That's what they want. That's what the blue pill wants you to think. They want you to be ignorant. It wants you to be like available to a woman who's just getting out of her party years, and you're a utility. Don't be a fucking utility for, you know, don't be a blue pill utility for a woman just because you think that it is your duty as a man to do so. Your duties to yourself. Your commitment should be to yourself at this point.